Welcome back to the channel, HBNR families. So in this video I'm going to show you how to cut joggers pants perfectly, either for male or for female. I've read a lot of comments in my previous joggers pant cutting and people has raised some issue. So I'm here to find a relevant solution to some issue people has brought to my consent. So in this tutorial I'm going to explain everything so that you won't even have any chance to ask any question because you are going to understand everything. So before we dive into the tutorial, let me make some clarification. I'm going to be using my hip measurements to cut the waist, and the reason is that the joggers pant is not going to have zip, and if I use my actual waist measurements after the sewing of the joggers, while putting it on, it will be very complex to pass through the hips area because the hips usually bigger than the waist. But while using my hip measurements to cut the waist, while putting it on, it will pass through the hips area freely down to the waist area, and you already know that I'm going to attach an elastic band to the waist area, so everything will looks perfectly and okay. Don't forget to like this video, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if this is your first time coming across the channel. Thanks for watching. HBNR. So the first thing I'm going to do is to draw a straight line here for my starting point. And after drawing the straight line, I'm going to apply my length measurement, which is 39 inches. And I'm going to deduct 2 inches from my length measurement for the waistband. So I've deducted the 2 inches from my length measurement. So I'm going to mark 39 inches for my length measurement here, and I'm going to add extra hemming allowance to it, but this will be determined by the height of the band I want to attach to it. Assuming I want to attach 1 inches band, I'm going to add extra 1 inches hemming allowance, but here I'm using 2 inches, so that's why I marked 2 inches for my hemming allowance. After that, I'm going to connect it together like this. So the next thing is to apply my waist measurement. I'm going to be using my hip divided by 4 to get my waist measurement. So 39 divided by 4, it will gives me 9.7. So I'm going to mark 9.7 for my waist measurement. And also for my crotch depth, I'm going to divide my hips by 4 as well, but I'm going to start the measurement from the starting line. So I'm going to mark 9.7 as well for my crotch line. So I'm going to connect the crotch line to my starting point to the waist line. I'm going to connect it together like this, and after that, in this area, if you're working on a normal body shape, you just need to add extra 2.5 inches here. But if you are working on a shape that is not accurate, like if the person's hip is smaller and he or she has a big lap, so you are going to take the measurement of the lap. I will just apply the lap measurement here instead of adding the 2.5 inches. I hope you understand. So I'm going to connect it like this. So I added the 2.5 inches because I'm working on a accurate shape. So the next thing, I'm going to add 1 inches downward here. I'm going to mark 1 inches downward, and from that 1 inches I'm going to apply 6 inches pocket opening. So that's for my pocket. Next thing is to apply the ankle measurement. If you don't know how to measure it, this is how it's going to be measured. So as you can see, my ankle area is 12 inches. So I'm going to divide it by 2, which will gives me 6. So I'm going to mark 6 inches here for my ankle. And after that, I'm going to connect it to the crotch area. So I'm going to cut the pattern out now. So after cutting out the front pattern, now I'm going to relay the pattern, and I'm going to place the front pattern on it in order to cut the back pattern out. So I'm going to mark 1.5 inches upward at the crotch area, like this, and I'm going to connect it to the tips of the side pocket. So after that, I'm going to mark 2 inches from the waist area to the ankle area, like this, and I'm going to connect all the marked points together. After connecting all the marked area together, I'm going to cut out the back pattern. Please don't forget to like and share this video. That's the only way we can make this tutorial go viral. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are a new viewer. So now I'm going to cut out the pattern on the fabric. So you remember I don't add any seaming allowance to it here, but while cutting it out on the Ankara fabric, I'm going to add extra 0.5 to every edge. So at the waist area, I'm not going to add any seaming allowance to it, because if I add, it's going to add to the length of the pattern. After cutting it out, you can see that I added seaming allowance to every edge except the waist area and the ankle area. So this is for the front part, and I'm going to cut it the same way for the back part as well. As you can see, I follow the same step of adding seaming allowance, 0.5 seaming allowance to it. So the next thing is to cut the pocket. So here's the fabric I'm going to use for the pocket. So I'm going to mark 7 inches here for the width of the pocket. And I'm going to make the length to be 12 inches, 7 inches in width, and the length is 12 inches for the pocket. After that, I'm going to cut it out. So here I'm going to cut the waistband, and I'm going to make the height of the waistband to be 5 inches. You remember I deducted 2 inches from the length for the waistband. So here I marked 5 inches for the height of the waistband, so that if I fold it, like this, it will equivalent to 2.5, and after sewing it to the pant, everything will equivalent to 2 inches.